There's nothing harsher than having to listen to the merciless cry of a creature in distress. From dogs to elephants, humans will always give a helping hand when we can. That's why an Ohio couple raced down the Central American beach to help a baby creature that was in great distress. They had a rough night too, with a storm over theirs and their lodgers' heads. They went to help the soaking wet creature, which had held on for its life onto a rock. They heard his crying again and questioned themselves, are we too late? The names of the couple are Lori and Dirk Morgan. They're from Morrow, Ohio. They're the proud owners of the business called Morgan's Canoe and Outdoor Adventures in nearby Oregonia. They also spent a lot of time, until January 2018 to be exact, in the Central American extension of the Morgan's Jungle Lodge. The lodge was well known in Costa Rica, and it was precisely there that the Morgans had an encounter with a lovely creature that ended up being viral. The incredible experience began on January 15th, 2018. The Morgan's Lodge is entirely isolated, and that's how they like it. They marketed the place as an eco-friendly destination. It was so remote that a couple that was staying at the lodge returned after going to a nearby beach to explore. They met a local that was in desperate need of help to return to his village. He'd lost his way. They'd also seen an unidentified creature between the rocks that also seemed to need help. The storm was apparently showing the repercussions of its work all around, and that's why the Morgans decided to check it out at once. They'd already lived the struggles of the animals after the storm and were eager to help. They went straight ahead to the beach to do their best at helping the stranded youngster. The animal was in great danger. He'd been separated from his mother and his natural habitat during the storm, which put him in an awkward position, wholly exposed on the beach. He also became an easy target for any predators walking around him. He needed help. I took off, Dirk recalled in a YouTube video uploaded by the current affairs show USA Today 10 days later. And he wasn't lying. It seems that Dirk dropped everything to go and help this little animal. I've still got my cooking apron on because I was doing bacon that morning, he elaborated. I'm sprinting down the beach barefoot with a kitchen apron on and a box and a towel in it. He did have time to get a hold of a camera to record the exact moment when he found the creature. This would be the video that the distributor Viral Hog found on January 18th, 2018. We found the rare young two-toed sloth that survived the high tide and a storm overnight, he said. The term for the species is actually a misnomer. Two-toed sloths have 3 toes, while they sport 2 finger digits. The entire situation was strange, and it was great that Dirk also knew a lot about the species. According to him, sloths don't walk, but instead they use their hands to pull themselves along the ground. That's why they're so slow and have the well-known name. But this seems like a great way to live when you're always hanging on trees. They use their claws to hang upside down from the branches, and it doesn't matter if they're awake or asleep. They've adapted to this way of life. Their fur grows upside down, and their pelt attracts algae, which leads to a greenish hue that's used by the animal as camouflage. They're splendid creatures, but at the same time, when taken away from their natural habitat, they're quite defenseless, especially this young one. If Dirk and Lori hadn't found him, he surely would have died. When they got to where he was, they had to scare some canines away that were interested in the sloth. Dirk saw the animal and felt his pain in his chest. He told USA Today about what happened next. It started making that pitiful cry sound like a baby, he said, and it totally melted my heart. I needed to help this poor creature out. He also added that the sloth looked utterly terrified and that the seawater of the recent high tide had soaked it. They started looking around to see if they caught sight of the sloth's mom, but she wasn't around. They used the camera throughout the nearby tree line with no success. Probably being swept off by the storm herself, the little one managed to escape the rising tide by clinging for his life with his claws and was now in a petrified position. There was no way the Morgans were leaving that small and defenseless creature out there. They knew there was no way they could leave the infant there. With no adult sloths in sight, we carefully placed him in a box with a towel, Dirk explained in the YouTube clip. Then we took him back to the lodge and rinsed the salt water off his face. The sloth had carried what seemed to be all of the beach's sand in his eyes. They loved having the sloth in their house, but they also knew that they couldn't keep it. They asked for assistance and then took him to the Animal Rescue Center at Tranquility just down the road. Dirk concluded he seemed to be fine and happy and to be dried off and safe. They left him there. The Tranquility Rescue Center in Puerto Jimenez could take care of the baby sloth better than them. The plan is to get him strong enough and then release him into the wild again. While all of this was happening, the YouTube video that Dirk uploaded had already received more than 100,000 views on Viral Hog alone. Like any other viral videos, it got different responses. Some of the viewers were mad about the Morgans elongating the sloth's distress to capture the footage, and others appreciated the altruistic actions the Morgans made that day. "Oh my god, that baby sloth is the most precious, innocent thing ever," said one of the praising viewers. Nonetheless, Dirk does not think of himself as a hero. "I think all I did was what any responsible person would do," he maintained to USA Today, "to rescue a poor animal that obviously had a really rough night." All in all, it turned out to be an excellent week for the baby sloth. The problem is that we can't say the same about the Morgans. If they were expecting good karma, that's not what they got. 1 week after the rescue, a massive fire broke out at the Morgans' jungle lodge. The property was lost entirely. The only good part is that no one was hurt. The fire also claimed everything the Morgans owned, and the accident left the couple wholly devastated. "We're saddened and shocked at this," Dirk told Tennessee newspaper The Jackson Sun. The beginning of the fire is still a mystery, and the couple has set up a crowdfunding to recover all their losses. They'll also give part of the raised money to Tranquility Rescue Center. They've told the couple that the sloth is now named Guanabana and that he's doing great. Dirk received this news as a silver lining of the entire week he had, and told the website Cincinnati.com, "I feel fortunate that this wonderful little creature touched my life and that I could make a difference in his."